Welcome to the world of probiotic foods. This is Cultured Food Life with your host, Donna Schwenk.
Welcome, everybody. Thanks for joining me. We're excited to be back doing podcasts again. I took a little break during the holidays. When I do that during the holidays, when I don't do podcasts, it's because I want to spend time being with my family and doing holiday things. But I always think I'm going to do it, and then I just keep not doing it because I get too busy. So now I'm back, and sorry for the break, but I kind of needed it. But I am enjoying being back. So now we're going to talk about something that I've been doing for the last 2 months that I'm very, very excited about. And I love staying healthy. I love that's important for me, but it's an ever-evolving journey for me. And because, you change, you grow older, things change. And so then I find new things that impact my life. And in comparison, they aren't always cultured foods. Sometimes they're prebiotic foods or just foods that have really helped or enhanced my life in some way. So I like sharing it with you. And so what was happening lately was I'm a coffee lover. I absolutely love coffee. But I was noticing that it really didn't love me anymore. I started to feel more acidic, kind of more like an acidy reflex type of a thing. The caffeine started to bother me. And I started feeling more jittery than I had ever done before. And so I started looking around for something to replace my morning drink because it's a really big ritual for me making coffee. I actually found a couple of things that I really liked. But the one that really stuck with me the most was the matcha tea. And I was really surprised at some of the benefits I got from it, like really surprised. And I was also amazed how great it made me feel and how much I enjoyed it. I drink it twice a day now because it tastes so good to me. It doesn't give you the jitters. And I make it with homemade almond milk. And I'm giving you the recipe for my homemade almond milk because I make it twice a week now. I love making it. It doesn't take very long. It's easy to do. You just need a blender and a nut bag to squeeze the milk out of. And it's something I do a lot now. Sometimes I have it before bed. I really love matcha tea. And I have it hot or cold depending on what the weather's like. But what really surprised me from the very beginning with matcha tea was that it really started to feed my microbiome and change it. And let me explain to you how I know it's changing my microbiome. Okay, so food feeds bacteria. And whatever you're feeding your bacteria, and it can be good or bad, fibrous foods like fruits, vegetables, things that have soluble fiber, they all feed your microbiome. It makes it grow and multiply, the good stuff. What happens when the bacteria starts to grow and multiply, it starts to kill off bacteria that is lesser or not useful or pathogens or whatever. It starts to crowd them out. And when those start to die, each of those little bacteria cells inside of them, they have liposaccharides that when they die off, they give off toxins. And so you can feel a little bit like, as those die off, you can feel a little nauseated or a little, just not distressed, but you'll feel different. You'll notice looser stools or something. You'll notice there's been a shift. And this could happen either way. It could happen when you're eating bad, and it could happen when you're eating good, because whichever bacteria, most people take this for granted because people don't know what's going on. But whatever you're feeding your microbiome is growing. So if you're eating a lot of processed foods and a lot of sugars, then you're feeding your microbiome things that are not going to make your good bacteria grow. And so that's going to change the population in your gut, and it's going to change the way you feel. So when you start to eat more good foods that feed your bacteria, like fibrous foods and things like matcha tea that has massive amounts of prebiotics in it, it's going to start killing off things that are minor in your gut or bad or pathologic pathogens that aren't belonging there. They die, they give off these toxins, and you'll feel it in the beginning, and it doesn't last very long. And then you'll notice the shift and you'll start to feel better. And that happened to me when I started drinking matcha tea, and that surprised me because I'm like, well, what is in this matcha tea that is shifting my microbes so much that for the first, I would say, week and a half, I wasn't very hungry because I kind of felt like my stomach was shifting and changing, and I didn't feel very good as far as I didn't want to eat. Let's put it that way. And God, that kind of excited me because I thought something's happening. And then after that, this is what always happens. After that, I felt fabulous. So I knew it was changing my microbes. And that's something that I pay attention to. You know, I'm very sensitive to. So if ever you kind of feel nauseous or something, know that maybe some pathogens are dying off, or you're eating too many bad foods and the same things happen in the reverse. So this is just that was the first thing I noticed with matcha was I wasn't hungry. I felt a little nauseous sometimes, and something was shifting inside of me. So let me explain to you what matcha green tea is. It's a type of green tea made from the whole leaf, the whole tea leaf that's ground into a powder. So when you look at matcha, it's just this really, really fine powder, but it's the leaf that's all ground up. It's not dried. It's like eating a fresh leaf. And there are different grades of matcha tea, and this is really important. I really recommend the ceremonial grades so you get all the benefits. Because in the past, I've had matcha tea and I didn't use the ceremonial grade and I didn't feel these effects that I'm feeling now. And there's quite a few, so stay tuned. And that's because of the grade of this. The one I get is organic. It's made by a company called Tenzo, Tenzo. I really like them. I've been doing it for 2 months, and they have a really good grade of green tea. There are others out there too, not just this one. This is just the one I drink. So you can find a lot of different brands that are, just make sure they're ceremonial grade. And because matcha is such a powerful prebiotic, it's an excellent source of the fiber that your body needs, but it has a really special galacto-oleosaccharides, they call them GOSs, which are the prebiotic fibers that can help enhance the gut barrier function and massively promote the growth of good bacteria in your gut. And that's what happened to me. I'm not sure I said that right. Galacto-oleosaccharide. I think that's how I say it. I could be wrong. But they abbreviate it into GOS. Those microorganisms in the gut play a very important role in the development of inflammation, which also upsets the metabolism of glucose and the absorption of fats. So what happens is it decreases inflammation. It helps your blood sugar stabilize and be better. And it also helps decide whether you're going to store fat or burn fat. And green tea is very good at helping you to burn fat, the good kind of green tea. So there are no jitters with matcha, even though it has almost as much caffeine as coffee. It's different. It's like 70 versus 90 milligrams of caffeine, but it's a completely different type of caffeine. So I have this all the time before I go to bed, and it doesn't keep me up. If I had done that with coffee, I'd be up all night. So it doesn't have that same type of caffeine. Because matcha contains all the nutrients from the entire tea leaf and contains more caffeine and antioxidants than is typically present in regular green tea. Because I drink a lot of regular green tea. I really love that. During the day, I make iced green tea. I always have a pitcher in my fridge because I really enjoy the taste. But it doesn't have the caffeine that makes you jittery. And I really can attest to that because I can drink it before bedtime and I'm fine. Now, here's the other thing that shocked me. So there have been studies, and I've heard about these studies for years, but I drink so much green tea that I thought it was bogus. But there's a lot of studies about matcha and its components. They have unearthed a variety of benefits showing that it can help your brain and cognitive health. It helps you to be sharper and more alert, but it can even help in weight loss. So after having matcha tea twice a day for 2 months, and I always have it with almond milk, I started noticing all my clothes were getting bigger. And I'm like, what is happening? I hadn't changed anything else. And actually, I wasn't eating as good as I normally do because we had holiday parties and Christmas time and all of that. But my clothes were looser, like by a lot. Almost, I would say at least a half a dress size, if not more. So that's what? 6 pounds or so, 6 or 7 pounds, I'm thinking. I didn't weigh myself, so I don't really know. But I was significantly, my clothes were so big that I'm like, I need a different size. So you can also add matcha like to your smoothies, because the matcha green tea powder, with its high amounts of epigallocatechin gallate, which is abbreviated as EGCG, drives the metabolism boosting and thermogenic effects in the body. So there's been a lot of studies that have shown that EGCG, because I don't want to say that again, epigallocatechin gallate. I could so be botching that, but I think that's how you pronounce it. Has beneficial effects against obesity and could significantly reduce the gain of body weight or adipose tissue. So a study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that consuming matcha green tea can increase thermogenics, the body's own rate of burning calories, from a normal 8 to 10% of daily energy to between 35 and 43% of daily energy. And I had never found that to happen with regular iced green tea I was drinking that was not matcha. So it really surprised me that I started losing weight and I really wasn't changing anything. If anything, I was eating worse or just eating more. I wasn't eating worse, but I was eating more. And I was losing weight. It shocked me. And they say it works even better if you exercise. If you drink the matcha green tea before you exercise, it works even better. So I have a whole bunch of studies. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I found about 5, 6 studies on this. And I wouldn't say this if it didn't happen to me, because I don't ever do that, guys. I never say, oh, this is going to happen. But this really did happen to me. It shocked me. But it took I noticed it was like, I've been doing it for 2 months. And that's when I really noticed. But I am noticing also that I'm not eating I'm not as hungry. Let's put it that way. I feel more nourished. So I'm not looking, well, that might not be true because during the holidays I did eat more snacks, but I'm not as hungry as I used to be, which is, I don't know. It could also be the almond milk that I'm putting in there, or it could just be the matcha tea, but something happens. So I wanted to tell you about it because I thought that was pretty cool. And it's really delicious. And guys, it's so much easier than making coffee. Oh my gosh. Okay, so basically you just take a teaspoon of matcha tea powder, and I like it cold in the summer and hot in the winter. And you put cold or hot water in, depending on which kind you're going to make. And then you have a little mixer. To do it the official way they do it in Japan is to take it and to use a little bamboo whisk and whisk it really with your hand. But they gave you a little handheld mixer when I bought the Tenzo matcha tea. So I just use those little hand mixers because I'm too lazy to do the other. I actually have the bamboo one, but it's really a cool process, but I don't have time. So anyway, I mix it with the mixer and then I just pour almond milk in it, or I steam some almond milk. I have a frother and a steamer. You can just do it in a pan. And then I put that over top and mix it. And I'll usually put ice in the ice one, or the steamed one's really pretty. And I have a recipe on how to do both. But that's a lot easier than when I was making coffee. Because I used to make my coffee in a mocha pot, and it was kind of a big little ritual that I actually really enjoyed. But this is so much easier, and I enjoy it so much. I crave it now. And it also is very good for your skin. Matcha is very high in antioxidants, like huge amounts of antioxidants that help your skin glow and repair itself much easier than you would have before you started drinking matcha. It can also help calm your nerves. It has an important amino acid in it called L-theanine, which has been shown to help people sleep, but also can lead to a feeling of calm. And it's a really good amino acid, and it's in all green tea, but it's more so in matcha. I was really surprised by how it made me feel full and satisfied. That was one thing. I really wasn't craving things like I was before. But guys, you don't realize this, but your diet's everything. Food is everything. If you feed your microbes the right stuff, you don't crave the bad stuff. It just works that way. And the biggest thing that you can cut out that you would see the biggest improvement is sugar. I think I'm almost allergic to sugar. It causes such adverse effects in my body. I just don't do it anymore because it's just too hard on me. I can have a little bit of honey. I can have maple syrup a little bit, but regular table sugar, I mostly use allulose. But anything that, is regular sugar, I get rashes. I get all kinds of things. But it also makes me crave things that I never craved before I started eating it. So that is one of the biggest things. But also eating really good foods, and, I love, healthy meals but I'm not super strict. I eat a lot of fruits and vegetables, but I eat a lot of, things like einkorn bread, sourdough bread. I started making my own pasta over Christmas. Oh my gosh, I made einkorn pasta. Is the best thing in the entire world. I have to do a video. I have to do a whole blog on it. It's so good. I can't wait to tell you about it. It was like the best meal I'd ever made for Christmas Eve dinner. I've never had every single person come to my family tell me it's the best thing they've ever had. Never. They never say that. So I can't wait to tell you, but that's a whole other podcast and recipe, and I'm perfecting it now. But oh my gosh, that makes such a big difference. Okay, so I'm going to try not to talk about it. Anyway, okay, now I can't remember what I was talking about. Anyway, I just know that the more I find these types of foods, I get so excited because I feel such a difference. They help me, and I can't wait to share it with you. But everything you eat, everything you put in your body either feeds your good bacteria or feeds your bad bacteria. Everything. And your diet is everything. And people don't realize that. And the more, I kind of live in a little bubble in my own little world. But the more I'm out with people that aren't familiar with what I do, and I watch sometimes, and I'm not critical. I just think they don't know that having sugary drinks at every meal is like one of the worst things you can do. It affects you so much. I can't overstate that enough, that those types of things that have fructose corn syrup and sugar like that, that's so hard on you. It feeds the wrong bacteria in your body. And everything you eat, once you get a hold of this and you start to realize how good you can feel, like when I don't eat as good as I normally do, I need more sleep, period. I don't have as much energy. I'm a little bit crabbier, but as long as okay, for instance, in a day, I just had matcha tea for breakfast and I had kefir, and I really love persimmons in my kefir, and I had a little bit of L-reuteri in there too. And I made a smoothie. I make it for my husband and my daughter. So I make a 3-tier one. I had that for breakfast. And then for lunch, I have some einkorn bread. I'll probably have a sandwich. And I put sprouts on it and turkey and cheese. And I have this homemade mayo that I make that I love. I have 2 different kinds. Sometimes I'll have soup and salad for lunch. Sometimes I'll have leftovers. And then for dinner, it's like I made like a type of stir fry meal last night. So I have some leftovers that I have with rice, and then I mix half of it with cauliflower rice. And so here's the deal. I still have the rice, but I put half cauliflower rice in there too, so that I get a lot of fiber. I feed a lot of my good bacteria. And I try to eat salads before anything that has carbs because it lowers your blood sugar and it kind of coats the lining of your stomach and keeps your blood sugar lower. I try to do that a lot. I made a bunch of salad dressings that I have in the fridge, so I'll eat more salads. Because if I have and they're probiotic too, the ones I make. I have Thousand Island blue cheese and ranch. They're all probiotic. I keep them in my fridge. If I have those in my fridge, and I have a Green Goddess one too, but I haven't made that one. And I keep them in my fridge, I will eat more salad. That's something that I love to do. But salads are like, especially this time of year, they're really important because like I made einkorn spaghetti last night or 2 nights ago. And I have that as leftovers too. And I always have a salad before that. And I have an Italian one too, dressing that's really good. It's kombucha Italian dressing that I love. Anyway, to say all that, I'm telling you, if you eat those foods, and you don't have to I'm not super strict. I'm not like, I only eat such and such, or I don't cut out any food groups. I've tried that. That didn't work for me. So I felt terrible. So anyway, long story short, I'm just careful what I feed my microbes. That's all I do. I just feed my microbes all the time foods that I know they'll like, fibers and foods. And then I also have things that I like. And it just makes it so much easier. And then I'm not stressed out about what I'm eating all the time. And for instance, like we might go out to eat today and I might have some sushi because, so sushi has rice on it, but it's resistant starch because it's cold. So it doesn't elevate your blood sugar like warm rice does because the rice has turned into a resistant starch, resist ingestion, and keeps your blood sugar low. But it always makes me feel good, and it feeds bifidobacteria in your gut powerfully. Resistant starches are one of the biggest things that feed your gut bacteria. So I have all these tips and tricks. I really should just make a whole list of stuff I do. Because I'm really, really, really busy. And so I have to do things that make my life easier because I don't have time to do all this. I'm trying to do some new stuff for my members. I've got new books coming out. Every month I put out new ebooks. Okay, so The next, I'm not even sure which ones I'm putting out, but I do one in March, I think the end of February. That's kind of like they call it Luck of the Culture is what I call it. And I always put new recipes in all my ebooks every year. And they come out every month, different ones. But I'm going to put a lot of matcha tea recipes in this one because I'm making so much stuff with it. So that will probably come out into February. I'm not sure, or beginning of March. But anyway, that will have more matcha tea recipes in it and things you can make with matcha because I'm enjoying it because I do it. And that's what I put in my ebooks are things I'm making. I think I'm going to have an einkorn book coming out, another one, and a sourdough coming out, and a Valentine's. I don't know. I got to go look at it all. It's so much stuff to do all the time. But that's why I have to find recipes that are easy for me because I'm so busy. So because I have fun doing this for you. So I really off the subject again, but I love matcha tea. You can add it to your smoothies. It's just a teaspoon of the ground powder. I have a truffle recipe I'm giving you. I've got one that I really like. You take strawberries and you kind of crush them up with a pounder. You put them in the bottom of a glass and you can add a little sweetener to it. I usually use allulose. And then I'll pile yogurt on top. You can use Alrudra, you can use Yogurt Plus, or you can use kefir. I put that and I sweeten that a little bit. And then on top, I put the matcha tea powder mixed with water and almond milk a little bit. I have the recipe on there. It's so good. And it's fun to make. It's super easy. It takes less than 5 minutes. I also have kombucha matcha tea and water kefir matcha tea. I put my homemade almond milk recipe on this article. You'll see all these recipes. I have a key lime pie. Oh, the kefir pistachio truffles are so good. I love those. Those are really good. And they're green. That's usually in my Luck of the Culture book that comes out in March, but I'm giving it to you early. And I'm giving it to everybody even if you're not a member, so you can enjoy it. But I have 9 matcha recipes on here. Well, one of them's almond milk, but I wanted to show you how easy it is to make homemade almond milk. You basically are just soaking your almonds, putting them in cold water, and then grinding them up, and then putting them through a nut bag, squeezing it through a nut bag. And I went and got a super fancy milk machine for non-dairy milks. I don't like it. I like the nut bag. It's so much easier to do it with the nut bag. So I got this expensive machine. Now I don't know what to do with it because it didn't make the bigger amounts that I wanted because I usually double my recipe. And so it was too much work cleaning all the stuff. So anyway, it's super simple. You just need a blender and a nut bag to make almond milk. So anyway, these are some of the things that I like to do. And I get really excited to share it with you because I never tell you anything that I don't do. I'm never promoting something that I'm just doing to promote. As a matter of fact, I'm not even an affiliate of this Tenzo tea. I just like it so much that I just am doing it. I think I might have tried to get to be one, but I don't know. I don't care. I'm just giving it to you, the one I get on Amazon. And I get a small commission from this, not very much, but I don't care. You don't have to get that tea. You can get ceremonial matcha green tea powder from many different places. You don't have to buy that one. I'm really just telling you this because I super like it. So, and it's the one I use and people ask me, but it's super fun to tell you things. And then I love getting emails from you and telling you how it's helped you. I love that. That's the best part. So anyway, I just wanted to share with you how much matcha tea has changed me and how much better I feel. I've lost a little bit of weight. I don't have those jitters anymore. My stomach's not acidic anymore. And that was the main reason. It was starting to really bother me. So I thought I got to do something different. I also have another drink that I tried. I don't drink it as often. Not even. It's called Cryo Brew it was really good. This was another one that I really liked. And I didn't put this in the article, but it's basically ground cacao beans. So there's no sugar in it and no caffeine. But that was good too. I liked that. It was more like making coffee. So it took more time and I didn't like the taste as much, but I did like the taste. But that was another good alternative to coffee for me. It was Cryo Brew. It's called CRIOBREW. And I'll put the link below to Amazon, the one I got, because I really like that too. If you're looking for something, it's kind of comforting because you don't get the caffeine, but it tastes like chocolate, but it's not sweet. So you can sweeten it if you want. But it is good too. It does have a lot of magnesium because cacao beans have a lot of magnesium in them. So does the the almond milk. Almond milk has a ton of magnesium in it. So both of those are good alternatives. I've just given you things that I've tried recently that have really helped me, because when I have these little things that happen to me where I go, oh, I can't drink coffee anymore, it's bothering me, then I find something else. Then it's really exciting when it turns into something really cool. So that's the cool thing. So thanks for listening, guys. For listening to me ramble on and on about a million different things in this podcast. But it's been a while since I've talked to you, so I was excited to get back and talk to you. We're adding more new exciting things. More new products are coming up this year. Very excited about it. It just takes time to bring them all together. But anyway, stay tuned because we got a lot of exciting things. And as always, thanks for listening to me. I always think that nobody's listening, and I actually have a lot of listeners and I just don't pay attention. So it's really exciting that I can share some of the things that have helped enhance my life, and then they help enhance yours. That's the greatest joy of my life. It is the thing that brings me the most happiness. So I appreciate you guys a lot. So thanks for listening. Have a great week. Check it out at Matcha Tea. It could make a big difference for you. And if it does, drop me a comment and or an email. And I love those. So have a great week, guys. We'll talk to you next time.